All right, welcome to Sticks and Sips, the Drew Estate Virtual Happy Hour. I am Frankie Drinks, and we are celebrating our big third month, our big 3-month anniversary. And so this is our big 305 celebration. And I've got my little cafecito courtesy of my man, Eric Cordova. So cheers. One thing you got to know about the 305, we drink this stuff like it was liquid crack cocaine. So cheers to you guys out there. You're gonna need that coffee because we're probably going about 2 hours tonight. No joke, no joke. This is a huge show. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody out there in Facebook Live land, we're super excited to have you join us yet again. And again, big 3-month anniversary of Sticks and Sips, and I cannot thank you enough for being part of it. And looking at our 3rd month anniversaries, I said, look, I got to celebrate the 305, right? So what is the 305? You guys are asking, what is this 305? We hear about Pitbull yelling all the time. And the reality is that 305 is our area code. So it's the area code for Miami. And I'm proud to be born and bred Miami. And one of the beautiful things about Miami is that we are the crossroads. For Drew Estate, we're the crossroads between New York, that Dumbo, lovely Brooklyn area, and Esteli, Nicaragua. And this is the midpoint, man. We are the crossroads. So what better way to celebrate Drew Estate, the 305, our big 3-month anniversary than the 305 special edition of Sticks and Sips. So I'm glad you guys are on. Let's take a look at what's on the menu tonight. We got the happy hour cocktail of the night. We have a 305 mojito. Super excited about that. What are we sipping on? We're going to be sipping on some Wynwood Brewing Company, La Rubia. And we're super excited with that because our guest tonight, it's the real Mr. 305, Willy Herrera in the house, plus the 305 Low Life crew, which we'll introduce you in a minute here. And we have Mr. Louis Brignoni, founder of Wynwood Brewing Company. And we're super excited to have him on board. He's a good friend of mine, and he was gracious enough to come on the show. And what stick would we have tonight other than the Herrera Esteli Miami? This is everything that we stand for, that beauty, that crossroads between New York, Miami, Esteli, Nicaragua. So we're super excited about that. And with that, I'm going to check into the Zoom lounge, make sure everybody's in and having a good time. All right. So I've got my man, David Torres, in the Zoom lounge. He's part of that 305 Low Life crew. So David, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going awesome, man. You know, we've been looking forward to this show for a long time. And tell everybody what you do for Drew Estate real quick.
I do all the videos pretty much for Drew Estate. Simple as that.
You know, I expected you to go a little bit longer so I get my sip in, but thank you, man.
Not really,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So next up, I got my man sipping a lovely drink there, Mr. Willy Herrera. If you don't know who this man is, I'm going to let him tell you.
What's up, everybody? Willy Herrera here. I get to play with tobacco. I get to create some fun stuff for you guys to smoke and oversee production of what you love to smoke currently and make sure it keeps tasting right.
Fantastic, my man. We're going to be talking a little bit more in depth in a minute here. I've got my man, Louis Brignoni from Wynwood Brewing Company. What's up, my brother?
What's up, guys? What's up, Frank? Thanks for having me. It's been a blast these last 30 minutes leading up to the show, hanging out with you guys so far. So I'm excited what we have in store.
All right. I can guarantee you those 30 minutes are going to pale in comparison to the next 2.5 hours.
Plenty of beer.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And, you know, we're fully stocked here, but we may need a quick beer run. So my man Sergio, straight out of Hialeah. What's going on, my brother? Look at you.
What's
Represent.
up, everybody?
If you guys
How
don't
you
know,
guys doing? I'm happy to be on this show. I'm Frankie Drinks, Sticks and Sips. I'm excited. You also 305 love.
all right. Don't be not that 786 stuff. It's all about the 305 today. So yeah, we love having our in-house Hialeah representative, Sergio, that works for Drew State. He's the mayor of Hialeah. For you guys that don't know, I'll explain Hialeah later. Don't need to get all involved and stuff like
He's
that.
currently out on bail.
Listen, I've got my man Joey. He is, if there's anybody that embodies the 305, it's that dude right there. Right
I don't know
there
how
with
that happened. No way. 516.
Dude,
I'm from the 516.
You're a 516, but
Maybe I've been adopted into the 305. I don't know.
We've adopted you 100%. So welcome to Six and Sips again, Joey. It's awesome to have you here. So if you guys don't, Joey, smoking in Herrera, Miami, and he's our creative director. David works with that guy, making all that amazing stuff that we do for Drew State. So
he's got this nice little lighter too that Willie doesn't even have this lighter.
Yeah, look at that. Oh no, you see what I'm saying? Another one of those things that, hey, look at that.
Okay, well, we're gonna show people a lot of stuff that they don't know exists. So tonight, just hang on in there. And last but not least, I always go. He's on the phone right now. He's chatting a little bit, but he's prone to do that. But I'm gonna go to my man who just piped in. All right, we got Mr. George Juarez from Come Smoke With Us. One of my favorite shops in the 305. George, welcome to Sticks and Sips, brother.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Georgie.
Cheers, man.
So, like I said, Georgie's one of our. He goes by Diplomat Dogs, and he's full on Mr. 305. But next to Willie, he's not like he's full on 305, full time.
He's the shorter version. The shorter version.
I'm closer to 305 because I'm closer to downtown, bro.
All right. Well, we hear you, but it's all good. It's all good. We're all here about celebrating our hometown, and we're celebrating Drew State and all the great things that make us exciting and sexy.
For sure,
and
man.
Last but not least, I got my man, the founder of Drew State. Always honored to have him on every week. He's on there. He's doing his thing, man. He's an important cat. And JD, welcome. Let's get you unmuted here.
Looking.
And we're ready to go. There we go. All right. What's up, JD?
Oh, no, I was just, I didn't know you were talking to me because I was trying to get my dad squared away to get on the Facebook, but it was. So I've been missing. What's up, George? Yo, this is a real 305 Miami showdown going down tonight. So I'm more on the participant side. I've been waiting for this show. I'm looking forward to all the craziness you guys are about. What's up, Will, Joey, Mr. David, Frank Moreno, and then you got Surge, Big Surge in the house. Yo, I'm using up this steak right now, homeboy.
Right.
All right. So JD, get yourself wrapped up. I'm going to get the show started here because, we got to start with a cocktail. So, what better way to represent Miami than the stuff that everybody comes to Miami and says, I need to have a mojito. What's in a mojito? Well, I'm going to show you. So let's throw up that awesome slide. It's real simple. It's white rum, lime juice, a little bit of sugar, some mint leaves, and club soda. And all you got to do is put them together. There's a little process that goes to it. So let's show the little directions here. You got to combine the lime juice and the sugar, dissolve that, add your mint leaves. You're going to you're going to lightly muddle them. You're going to add some ice and some club soda. You're going to stir a little bit. You're going to add a little mint, and it's ready to go. So for those of you guys that, learn by seeing, I've got you. Let's roll that 305 mojito footage. So you got your sugar, about 2 teaspoons, not a whole lot, a little bit of lime juice, about 3/4 ounce. And all you want to do is just stir that up so it dissolves. And then you want to go ahead and add your mint leaves. The mint leaf is the best part. This is the old Cuban way of doing the mojito, so you don't got to put it in a shaker. You just got to muddle it lightly. I'm using Miami Club. This is a white rum that's made in Miami. We're pouring some ice in the glass. You want to top it off all the way to the top, and you want to hit it with some club soda. And then this is the most important part. You want to stir it up from the bottom, make sure it's all nicely mixed in, and then you got yourself a 305 mojito with your little mint sprig. So So I hope you guys know that this is a wonderful cocktail. Cheers to you guys out there that made your own. I know we got a lot of calls in from Facebook and from Instagram. It's a great, refreshing cocktail, especially when it's hot. We're heading into summer, and it's a great cocktail for cigars. As you can, it's a long drink, so no high ABV. You also can get it to refresh your palate. A little lime juice, a little mint does a great job. A little bit of sugar, and it just makes it a wonderful pairing for Herrera Miami or any other Drew Estate cigar. So with that, I'm going to welcome my first guest. I've got Mr. Louis Brignoni from Wynwood Brewing.
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here with you guys.
Dude, it's such an honor to have you here with us. There's a Wynwood safe house that we can't really talk about, but we tend to hang out in Wynwood, which is the most exciting neighborhood in the 305. To have, to kind of go back, and I want to tell everybody a little bit, going back to, I want to say maybe late 2012, 2013, when we're hanging out and I meet Louis, and he's got I'm going to open the first legal brewery in the city of Miami. And I'm like, dude, that is the ultimate of excitement. So run us through what the story of Wynwood Brewing, brother, because I can't tell it better than you.
Yeah, so I'll give you the elevator pitch because I don't want to bore you guys at all. Big home brewer, craft beer lover, passionate about it. Started home brewing when I was in college. One Christmas, my father, Pops, who's now my business partner, got me a Mr. Beer kit. I had a business I started with a couple partners out of college. Then that didn't go so well. 2008 hit when I graduated. So I got a job somehow. Somebody actually accepted me to get a job, which was awesome. Got married, and then decided I kind of didn't like the corporate world. And I have an incredibly supporting wife who pushed me to be able to, to do this, to pursue my passion in beer. So we started in 2011, kind of doing the whole thing, opened in 2013, started producing. And now, 7 years later, it's been quite a ride. Frank, we've known each other since the very beginning, before we even started producing legally, as you say. I know we've went to the same church. We sponsored with some beer, kind of like trying the beer out, pouring it out of a pony keg. And so it's been a wild ride, at the end of the day, though, I'm sure some of these guys can attest to, whether it's cigar, or it's just beer, at least at the end of the day, you can smoke a stove or drink a beer and, feel good about it, it's all about the team. That's what it's about. It's all about having good people around you. So, yeah, man, that's kind of like my elevator pitch.
I got you. I know it goes a lot deeper than that, but I kind of I was so excited about the 305 episode. I forgot to tell everybody that, ask Frankie Drinks hashtag, and you can ask me a question to ask Louis about Wynwood and their beer. And you go ahead, ask Frankie Drinks, and I'm going to pick 5 winners for this awesome Pappy Van Winkle Zycar cutter. So don't forget about that. That was my bad. But Louis, we go back and we tell the tale of, getting some of those first batches, and we were doing a charity event.
That's right.
And people we got some of La Rubia, which was one of the first stuff you got. You got a little Pops Porter, like that first edition of it, and people just loved it. And we kind of ran out almost immediately. And I remember calling you hey, we got any more? And he goes, I don't think so, but let me see what I can do. And then he shows up a half hour later with another pony, and people just took to Wynwood. And but I'm going to ask you the question, why Wynwood, man? City of Miami is a kind of a big spot. Why did you pick Wynwood?
Yeah, so Miami has never had a strong kind of manufacturing, right? Beer is manufacturing, right? You take raw materials, you process it, and boom, comes out beer. We've been very heavy service industry for the history of our city. And the little bit of manufacturing that we've had, it's kind of around that Wynwood River district. And, I kind of toured around different places. I lived at Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, kind of like that US 1 kind of corridor. Originally downtown Miami. I wanted a destination people would enjoy going around, not just for us, but maybe go down different restaurants and bars. And then I stumbled upon Wynwood in early 2011. So this is way before what Wynwood is today, right? I mean, Wynwood has transformed tremendously. It continues to. It's crazy. Like you stop going for a couple months. If you travel every so often down here to Miami and you see a new building pop up, it's crazy. But back then, it's the artists, the kind of gritty. The only thing around really was when we first opened was a couple bars, Gramps, Wood, Joey's, Wynwood Kitchen and Bar, Panther Coffee, and that was pretty much to the extent of it. And I love kind of like the neighborhood feel, the grittiness to it. And so that's why that's one of the reasons we went to Wynwood. We feel that it was still an artist neighborhood. It had a lot more galleries than it does now. We do feel that our beer process it just kind of felt like home. It's also a Puerto Rican neighborhood, as you know, we're a Puerto Rican family. So it made sense. It felt like home. So that's where we kind of zoned in on. We put the name on our business, and we've loved every second of it. It's been interesting transformation we've seen in these last 9-8 years.
So I wanted to say, if anybody ever comes down to Miami and you're running around Wynwood, Wynwood Brewing was one of those things, much like the bars that you mentioned and the spots you mentioned, like the Wynwood Walls, Wynwood Kitchen and Bar, Joey's, Gramps, the Wood. These are places and that kind of made Wynwood. So my hats off to you for what you've done for the neighborhood, because that's been amazing, and your trajectory has been truly incredible. We get a lot of people from everywhere watching, so I know you had a really great business opportunity to get Wynwood beer out everywhere. So I want you to share that with everybody that's kind of tuning in right now. Where can they get Wynwood Brewing?
Yeah, so we have a small 7,000 square foot facility that we crammed in with a bunch of stainless steel to produce as much as we possibly could. And unfortunately, like you said, a couple of years in, we just couldn't make enough, which is a good problem to have, people told me. But at the time, it sucks because you're just not selling. You have to ration it out. And so we originally did a small equity deal with a larger brewery so that it could help us not only marketing wise, but also production and sales, distribution. And then ultimately we ended up selling the rest of the business to them. And Pops and I still running the business. We're just almost like a subsidiary of this larger company. So, I got to a point where it was kind of easy to turn on the faucet, kind of like start distributing in a lot of places, but we stayed true to ourselves. We the majority, 95% of our business still stays in South Florida. We do a little bit of distribution in Orlando, New York, Connecticut, and then Puerto Rico. It was always a dream of ours, Pops and myself, to go back to Puerto Rico. So we were able to go back and kind of distribute a little bit down there for now. But again, it's kind of, as these guys know, controlling a brand is tough, especially when you get, within, crazy distance from your home. So we still feel there's a lot of opportunity here in the local market. We still double down in the 305. We just signed a deal late last year with the Miami Heat. We're the official craft beer and local beer of the Miami Heat with La Rubia. And so we're going to continue to do partnerships like that here locally. There's still so much opportunity, right? It's funny, when I first started the brewery, everybody would look at me and say, I go to conferences just to learn more about the industry and meet people. They look at me and say, Miami, a brewery? You're crazy. It's a spirits town. You're never going to make it. Good luck with that. But I think it's, we were talking about earlier, it's a crossroad. You said it's a crossroads, and people still drink beer, man. I mean, yes, we do love our spirits. I love whiskey, and I'm a huge rum guy. But we still drink beer, man. I mean, in the middle of the day when you're having lunch, you're not gonna have whiskey or rum unless it's a different kind of occasion. I'll have a beer, right? So people still drink a good amount of beer down here. It's one of the largest beer consumption cities in the nation. Florida is a huge beer consumption state. So we still have a lot of opportunity here.
Well, congratulations to that. You guys being recognized by the Heat and being part of that official beer, and that trajectory has always been awesome. So I'm going to start pouring myself a La Rubia to share with you. And I'm going to let you talk about it because, I was told this is the ultimate outdoor beer for South Florida. And I know we've talked about it, but I want everyone to know this is the ultimate outdoor beer, Willie, because I know you're an outdoorsman and you want something light and flavorful.
It's perfect.
But I'm gonna let Louis, talk about it. In the meantime, I'm gonna be pouring one.
Yeah, so I mean, La Rubia is it's a blonde ale. There's no science behind the name. It's just La Rubia, the blonde. That's it. When we were home brewing and trying different recipes, it's one of the beers that we first brewed along with Pop's Porter. No science behind the name. The reason for the beer itself is we're a big beer drinking family. We like to grill out, play dominoes. And when I was visiting my parents, at the time they were living in Orlando, like a good Puerto Ricans do after they leave the island. We used to, we used to grill a lot. I used to bring a lot of craft beer or home brews. And my mom was never a big craft beer person. She was always like a big either lager person or medalla. And at that time we couldn't really get medalla, so she was drinking her, big lagers, your big domestic beers, right? Your Bud Lights, your Miller Lights. And I just couldn't stand it, right? And so I wanted to create a beer that, not that I don't respect those beers, I just don't personally consume those beers. But anyways, I wanted to create a beer that she would love, but that I also would love, that wasn't necessarily a big lager. So that's why I created La Rubia, right? And not only that, it was a beer that I wanted to do, to your point, that I could drink more than just one. If I'm outside, if I'm grilling, if I'm playing dominoes, if I'm on the pool, if I'm at the boat, if I'm playing golf, if I'm whatever you want to do outside, that's what I wanted to have. Not even just outside. If you want to have it with lunch, it's a beer for all occasions. And one of the things that we try to do is be inclusive as opposed to exclusive, which some craft breweries are very exclusive and they turn beer into wine, and I can't stand that shit. But anyways, sorry, I don't know if I can curse here or not, but
no, you can't. So
sorry.
Don't let that happen again.
Thank you. So anyways, so we wanted to, it's a light, crisp beer, but it has flavor. I call it a true American blonde ale because it's from everywhere. We use German malts, Canadian malts, American malts, English hops, Czech hops. So she's really from a lot of places, and a beautiful Hispanic name. So truly to Miami. So that's La Rubia, and that's it's right now it's our big seller, right? It's our claim to fame. It's we can't keep up, which is great. So cheers, man. Thanks for having me.
Cheers to you. I mean, I wish you guys could really see the effervescence on this. It's so amazing. It's got like this slightly sweet note, a little tiny maltiness there, which is a great pairing for a cigar. I love it. And I'm going to mention one more thing as I take one sip here. So, guys, this is Pop's Porter. I mean, I know it's difficult to see. This is our Pop's Porter. And actually, if you guys wanted to show that slide for La Rubia, so you guys want, take a look. I've got Pop's Porter on there as well. And this is, I don't want to say it's the beer that puts you on the map, but you did win a major accolade for Pop's Porter. Would you mind telling us a story about that?
Yeah, so Pops is named after my dad. I call him Pops. or in Spanish pa. And so, you know, when I started the brewery, he was retired. I wanted to bring him out of retirement. He said, "I'll do it. The only thing is you have to brew a beer for me." And he was a big porter guy. So I brewed him a porter, and that's what Pop's Porter is. And then, you know, 2014, our first year, we opened in 2013. 2014, we entered into the Great American Beer Festival, which is the biggest beer festival in the land. And we won gold for Pop's Porter, and it was a huge relief for us. It was the first year in business. You can imagine, first time working with your old man, you're bumping heads all the time, cash flow's tight, you're trying to grow a brand, a lot of stress, a lot of emotion. And so winning that kind of made us feel like we were on the right track and we were doing something right and something, you know, good. So it's been, you know, Pop's Porter has a really special place in my heart. It's our winningest beer. We win awards on an annual basis, whether it's a gold, a silver, or a bronze. It's a delicious porter, not very heavy. It's kind of light to medium body, dry, chocolate notes, coffee notes. That's if I'm smoking a Stogue, that's what I'm drinking. To be honest with you, is mostly a Pop's Porter. And it's just it's kind of like one of those after a long days of work, you know, you want to have something that has sustenance. That's the beer you want. You're kind of like, you know.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Louis. You know, when we're running around, hanging around Wynwood 2013, I was launching Craft Spirits Fest here, launching Wynwood Brewing. You know, we're kind of rolling around Wynwood all the time. We're doing these crazy pop-ups. You know, just to give you guys a little insight, we're doing these crazy pop-ups behind the liquor store that my boy owns, and we're doing a beer night, and these home brewers are coming in, and you know, we're serving stuff that no one's got, and watching these guys come up, and I know you remember those nights fondly, but you know, hearing that your guys, you know, that when in 2014 when you won a gold medal for Pop's Porter, and knowing where you came from and what it took to get Wynwood Brewing started. Yeah, it was an incredible point of pride, and I definitely see a lot of mirrors, a lot of similarities between you and JD's story about, you know, starting out and willing to do something where no one else had done, and I honor you with that. So I'm gonna cheers to you, my brother, and I thank you so much for being on Sticks and Sips, our big 5 episode, you know. And so don't go anywhere, man. So I think you need a reload on that glass. But I
think you gotta grab a beer. So thank you for letting me take a break.
Well, thank you, Louis. I appreciate it, man. Louis Brignoni from Wynwood Brewing Company.
Cheers, guys.
Super honored to have him on. Cheers. And man, that's a great story. We got people sipping on Rubia. So if you guys can get this, and you're in that New York, Connecticut area, you're in Orlando and Florida, you know, find it. You're gonna love it. If not, just be patient. It'll come out to you. You guys are gonna love it. And all I could say is, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The real Mr. 305 is in the house. Don't let that pit bull guy fool you. You know, because he says he's Mr. 305, and then he says he's Mr. Worldwide, and so we're like, dude, make up your mind. We know where Willie is. He's Mr. 305 full time. So I want to welcome Mr. Willy Herrera, Master Blender from Drew Estate. What's going on, Willie?
What's happening, man? How you doing, brother? How's everybody doing?
You know, listen, there's a bunch of people watching on Facebook right now and waiting for you to drop some enormous amounts of knowledge here. So, you know, I'm not going to make them wait any longer, man. Listen, tonight's a celebration of the 305. So I want to say this. If we can get production to throw up that slide of that lovely Herrera Esteli Miami, and look, I've got Willy Herrera. Look at those sexy pictures of you, man. You know, with the flat bill, you know, with Will McFall, you know, and so. But I want to talk
about cameras, man. Beauty of cameras.
Absolutely. So, like, I want to talk about the Herrera Esteli. So, I think I've got a slide coming up. There it is, man. Willie, tell us a story. Tell us the story of the Herrera Esteli Miami, because this is truly one of our most beautiful products.
Oh, so Herrera Esteli Miami started off as a limited edition. When I joined the company, I wanted to release a limited edition in one of the lines every year. And so the first year we released a Lancero in the Herrera Esteli Habano. The following year in the Norteño line, we released the Churchill limited. And so the third year around, we circled back and went back to the Herrera brand. And then I talked to John and the team, and I said, man, what about going back to the roots, going back to where it all started for me, going back to my family's factory and bring out the new limited stick out of where it all started for me in this industry. And so they agreed to that. We started the production of the first Herrera Esteli Miami, which is a Corona size. Then that was out for a year and a half or so, and then we made the decision to give all the Herrera Esteli brands a packaging revamp and kind of put everything, it just looks nicer on the shelf. Everything the same style box, the same style packaging. And so during that, we decided to make the Miami a full line. So we added the other 4 sizes to that. So now across the board, you have all 5 sizes available in the Herrera Esteli lines, whether it's the Miami, whether it's the Habano or the Norteño or the Brazil. And what I wanted to do with that stick was kind of bring back what I remember of a lot of the stuff that was coming out of Miami when I started in the factory in the early 2000s. Stuff had that Habano spiciness, that richness, that gritty but smooth at the same time type smoke, just a lot of flavor. And so that was kind of my concept in developing that blend. And it just took off, man. It did great. People accepted it. People liked it. And, now we're talking about it here in your show. This is great.
Well, dude, what better stick? I mean, I couldn't have planned this. What better stick to have on the Big 305 show than the Herrera Esteli Miami? And just Willie, let's go through the blends, because I think people want to know. It's like, what's in the Herrera Miami that makes it special?
Well, we got a dark Habano Ecuador wrapper. So it's when you say dark Habano, when you're looking at Habano, for example, the Herrera Esteli Habano, that's a much lighter wrapper when you compare it to the Miami. Well, you have different primings in a plant. You have, just like tobacco, you have your secos, your visos, your ligeros. It all depends what part of the plant you're taking it from. Well, there's a high priming Habano, so it's darker, it's richer, it's oilier, like John says. It's got grasa, it's spicier. Then it's got a Sumatra binder with Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers. It's also got a leaf of very special tobacco in there. It goes by the name of Negrito. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I put a little bit of one leaf of that special tobacco in this blend as well. It's a tobacco that we're not able to get too much of, because that tobacco, you just don't get too many leaves off the plant of that specific leaf. But this blend's got one leaf of that in it. And it's so different from anything else in the Herrera line. Again, it's that spicy, rich, earthy, but a balance at the same time and smooth at the same time, and leaves that clean finish after you get that spice, that initial pepper blast in your palate, But then it's clean right after that.
Well, I think it's so thank you for that explanation. I didn't know about the Negrito in there, but I'm glad I do now. Little secrets that come out. It's interesting. Little La Rubia goes in, little secrets come out. Wonderful.
Hey, man.
So, but
it's
listen,
dangerous.
I think it's one of our, when people are going like, what, people like love Liga, and people love our T52s, and they're looking at, our our Herrera Esteli Habanos. I'm like, you have to try the Miami. You really have to get that into your rotation and to really understand how special a stick this is. And I'm more than honored, that it represents our city because Willie, you're a 305er just like me, or Cubano to the core.
Born and
But,
raised, man.
But
Born and raised and been all over Miami, man. I mean, I joke with people all the time. I went to 5 different schools from elementary until the point I went to into seventh grade. 5 different schools. I was in North Miami twice. I was in Westchester. Then I would go to Kendall. Then I'll go back to Westchester. I mean, I've been all over the place, man. But always headed back and always ended up back in Westchester, in that little area there, man.
Well, that's where I call home. Not to give it away,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I call it Westchester by the sea. Only separated by 15 miles. Lewis used to live in that neighborhood, but he's but that's we'll talk about that later. But anyway, but Willie, I know you back before COVID, you used to travel a lot, man, and we talk a lot about this because we're living in the same spot. Like, what's your favorite thing about Miami? What's your favorite thing to do? Once you come back home, brother.
Man, when I get back home, my favorite thing is staying home. Because I'm on the road so much that there's nothing I enjoy more. There's 2 things. Whether that's having friends over at the house and we're grilling something outdoors in the pool or hanging out here at the house, or the second thing is get in a car and go somewhere remote. I tell people all the time at events and stuff like that. We have a camp out in Central Florida with a trailer set up, generators and showers and the whole thing. And, it's not camping per se, because you got air conditioning, you got TV, you got running water, you got electricity. It's more of a glamping type thing, like my wife likes to say. But, there's nothing more enjoyable than going out there and just disconnecting, man, and just going in the woods, getting muddy, going through trails with the kids. Those are the things that kids are going to remember when they grow up. And besides, other than that, man, getting on a boat, go with my brother on his boat and going out and fishing, and just being out, man, being out in nature, anything nature. That's me, man, all day.
Well, I definitely know you're an outdoors guy, and when we're talking about outdoors, we're talking outdoors beer. We were just having this conversation earlier, and people that don't know, where we're from, so you can actually, you can do some freshwater fishing, in the morning, and do some, saltwater in the afternoon. I mean, this is one.
And then you got a third, and then you could also do brackish water.
On the in between,
well.
yeah. So if you want to know anything about fishing, Willy Herrera is a dude that man. Not only is he an incredible master blender, he's an incredible outdoorsman. He loves his glamping.
I will put a disclaimer out there. I never catch anything, but you'll have a good time when you're out there.
As long as we have some La Rubia, a little mojito with us, make sure you get your questions in. Ask Frankie Drinks, either for Lewis, for anybody in the Zoom lounge, for Willy Herrera, and Willie, we were chatting, kind of before the show. Hey, Willie, I want to show you something, man. I know you guys are looking at this thing says Miami and wondering what the hell this is, right?
Look at that.
Well, this is.
I'm with everybody else because I'm seeing it for the first time now too.
Joey, hold up that lighter. So we got.
Look at that.
We got all this cool stuff happening. Look at this, man. If you can see it says Herrera Esteli by Drew Estate. This thing is awesome, man.
You talk about behind the scenes.
This is behind the scenes. I'm letting you guys know about super duper special stuff. This stuff is part of our Drew Diplomat app, rewards. So if you guys don't have Drew Diplomat app, make sure you download that, log in your cigars, and this thing, man, I was told that I could not take this home, man. Listen.
Yeah, just leave it there. Just leave it there in the office.
Stop me. All I gotta say, try and stop me. Because this thing's amazing. So I'm super excited about it. But Willie, when we were chatting, man, we were talking about, you come from Titan de Bronce, which is on the corner of Southwest 8th Street and 11th Avenue. And I always, when people come to Miami, I say, hey, look, man, this is a real important corner in the history of Drew Estate. Not just because Willy comes from Titan de Bronce, not just because it's an amazing Café Cubano window, like right next door. And speaking of Café Cubano, look, we can't have two Cubans talking for more than 20 minutes without sharing a Café Cubano. So Willy, it's coffee time, bro. Are you ready?
Well, I gotta go light up because I got the makeshift Cuban cafetera. It's electric, so I gotta turn it on. You're gonna do the real deal. I saw yours, so
all right.
Let me go turn it on.
I'm gonna do mine. You go turn yours on.
All right.
So what I've got is I've got a little espumita. So if you watched my boy's video at the beginning, he made a little creamed sugar with a little bit of coffee. And then I've got my little tiny Italian mocha pot here. And what I did was I get a little Cuban coffee and I use Miami Club rum Cuban coffee liqueur. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this in there. And this is gonna be like
you're making your Cuban coffee with a twist.
Yeah, because it has a little alcohol kick to it. So but this is an event where we're having a celebration. So I'm enjoying this little quasi cocktail while you're brewing yours.
Should have put the little lemon twist on top, bro. You missed it.
No, absolutely not. This is a
little.
So, this is a shout out to my man David, who's watching over there in the Zoom lounge. I made a little Dalgona coffee, thing, and then I floated the coffee and the Cuban coffee liqueur right on top. And this thing's amazing. And I'm going to sip it while Willy's brewing his. But
yeah, I'm brewing mine with a little ghetto cafetera here with a solo cup. I'll be doing my pomita with a little solo cup and a plastic spoon. So
you do.
We'll make it work.
You do you. I do me. So, but Willy, we talked about that corner, man. That corner has a lot of history. It has a lot of history for Drew Estate. It has the history of you coming from Titan de Bronce, and then right across the street is the birthplace of EPC. La Gloria Cubana, the El Crédito factory. So. Tell us about the specialness about being in that corner, because I used to live down the street and I used to ride my bike to the most amazing frita place that was on the corner of 12th and 8th Street. Yeah. So I used to run through there all the time, man.
I go every week, man. That original place burned down and they moved a little bit west now to 18th and 8th Street. Fritas are still just as good. But man, that corner, a lot of the people that we know today, they got their start there, from Ernesto Carrillo with El Crédito, La Gloria Cubana, Pepin Garcia was right next to him. Which is now known as my father. You have Padron before they moved, not too far from there as well. I mean, so many icons in the cigar industry, started out there in Little Havana, man. And
yeah, I think that when if there was ever a cigar tour that we're doing, not only are we stopping into Wynwood Brewing, but we're gonna stop in at Titan and realize this is where Willy came from. JD's gonna tell us about Ernesto Perez Carrillo and his role with Drew Estate, and that's an amazing story. Right across the street, my father Tatuaje, all that's Don Pepin coming from that. Padron down the street, and knowing that in this really small stretch of Miami, the amount of tobacco history that went down, and how Drew Estate, being one of the like I call new kids on the block, but really the most impactful, still has a tie to that, and still has that tie to 305 and being that crossroads between Miami and Nicaragua and New York, and it's always a point of pride for us,
Definitely, man. A lot of history in Little Havana, man. A lot of history.
So whenever everybody comes down to Miami, listen, this COVID stuff will be done. we'll take you on a little tour of what's happening down in in Little Havana. And we got one of my favorite bartenders down the street from Titan, that's at La Café La Trova. His mojitos are to die for. So you want to go see Julio Cabrera over there, and he loves the Herrera Miamis as well. So it's super awesome. And I can't thank you enough for hanging out, brother. In lieu of us hanging out like we used to back in the day, we're gonna hang out via Zoom. And I appreciate you being part of Six and Sips, my brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
All right, so listen, guys, last chance to get your cutters in. Ask Frankie Drinks, get your stuff in here. So listen, it's time to check into the Zoom lounge. We got, I want to introduce, something to you guys watching on Facebook Live. If you guys are taking a look, we have our 305, what I love to call the 305 low life crew. So we got Mr. Jonathan Drew, we got Mr. Sergio Hernandez, we got Mr. Joey Drew over there as Billy Baldwin. And we got Mr. George Juarez over there as what was the character's name, dude? And then finally, Mr. David Torres as Kaiser Soze. These guys are always the usual suspects. So what's up, guys, man? What's happening, bro?
Just chilling, man. Chilling, enjoying a good stick, some good sips. I gotta say one thing though. You left out the most amazing thing ever in Little Havana. And it took Willie about 8 years. They kept it from me for 8 years. And that's the Mame Shake. My God, if you've never had a Mame Shake, Frankie likes to say, it'll change your life. The Mame Shake is everything right there. It is the tastiest thing I have ever had. And you kept it from me for like a decade. Been living down here for 15 years.
Hey, man, that's because you never came down to the factory, man.
God. Shame on me.
But there's still one thing you're missing, man. You haven't had a frita.
I've had a frita. We had it in the factory that day. We all got fritas.
That's right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're covered then.
I got the full treatment, and now I'm ingrained in the 305. Mame Shakes for life.
Well, like Joey, like I like to say, the 305 is made up of people that are, that are born here, right? But people that are also transplanted become 305ers. People from all over. You don't need to be Cuban. It's more of an attitude type thing, and you hang out in Miami and you do your thing and you do it well and you do it to the maximum potential, and that embodies everything. I think that the 305 is, inclusive of Mame Shakes. So, for those of you who don't know, man, it's like a papaya, but it's not,
better.
I got Lewis going like, no, he's
better.
He's brewing a Mame beer right now. Serge, what are you saying, bro?
It's better, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. No comparison.
Yeah,
I realize I gotta hang out with you guys more often. Missing out, dude. Like
you are missing out, man.
More often, Mame, fritas, hanging out with Julio down in Café La Trova.
It's all about the croqueta life, man. That's what it's all about.
Missing out.
Hey, that could be a whole nother show, man. When we start talking about croquetas, bro, that's a whole nother level there, man.
What it's all about. This is about the Cuban sandwich life. I got a snack here, because I didn't know how long this show was going, so I brought my own supplies. So I brought a little snack. So guys, if you've ever had a Cuban sandwich, have one little pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, mustard, and some Cuban bread. I mean, how can you go wrong? I'm just gonna take a bite.
But
Not
dude
be
pulled out.
confused with medianoche, bro. The two total different things.
Night and day, just like Fruta Bomba and Mame, bro.
Dude, where'd you pull that sandwich out of?
Well, he called it a snack. So I don't know.
I like JD's in the dark down in the corner of my Zoom lounge, chowing down, man. He is chowing down. He's just forkfuls of like some good healthy salad.
Is it healthy salad?
Willie,
Yeah,
how's it taste?
Oh, look at
Oh, look at that.
Oye, mira que jovencito.
Right? That was before stress, bro.
What the fuck? Oh.
We'll let him go. I've got a little cafetera window down there, Louis. Just put my order in, and they got, they put me my sandwich in there. But
Awesome.
but it's all part of the experience, and and I know we got George in the Zoom down there. He's he's kind of one of our hardcore Drew guys, and I love him to death, man. Love going down there, particularly because he's by my house. So George, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Listen, man, I hear you guys talking, man, and you guys are just, driving me through memory lane, because I'm going to tell you guys a little something about me. I was raised in Wynwood. I was raised on 26th Street between North Miami Avenue and First Avenue. And I went to 3 different schools. I went to Dunbar Elementary. Then from Dunbar, I went to Booker T. Washington. And then I graduated from Miami-Jackson Senior High School in 1995. So I grew up in Wynwood, that old Wynwood, that 80s Wynwood, that 90s Wynwood. And when I go back to Wynwood now, it's just amazing to see what Wynwood has become, So funny enough, Cruz, my wife, she grew up in Little Havana. She lived on 8th Street and 5th Avenue, and we used to walk up and down 8th Street because we had nothing better to do. We had little money in our pockets, so we used to go eat some fritas. But you can't forget the pan con bistec, bro. The pan con bistec,
No.
staple
That's legit
sandwich
too.
here in
That's
Miami.
another staple right there, man.
Yeah, sin pan.
Dale la 12.
No.
100% sin pan.
Yeah.
So Willie, I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm gonna give you the microphone because George brought up an amazing point. The spot across the street from Titan, $5 steak sandwiches all day, every day.
In a supermarket. Yeah, it comes out of a supermarket. All right. It's got a little section in the corner there, and you will get the craziest, most tastiest pan con bistec you will find anywhere.
All right.
And
So
it's coming out of a supermarket.
Willie, what is a pan con bistec?
So that is Cuban bread. You got obviously a thin slice of steak, which is called palomilla. Then you got
It's a
grilled
sirloin.
onions, lettuce, and tomatoes. That's it. Oh, and then the little fried potato
Yeah, you
stick.
can't,
La papita.
can't
La
forget
papita
about those
Juliana,
fries,
bro. You can't forget about that,
about
bro.
the fries, man.
That's it, man.
So for you guys watching, it's a little French fried potatoes that are really, really thin. They're crunchy, and they're put on top of the sandwich. And
Potatoes, bro.
But then,
Yes, sir.
thank you,
then
Sergio.
your alternative drinks with that, it wasn't the batido mame, it was either a jupiña or materva,
Yeah.
So you have to go with
What
either
about
or,
Eat on bed, bro. You come on.
or eat on bed, you understand? So
Eat on bed. My family used to UPS it to me when I was in New York, bro.
All right, so George, we're gonna have you lead the tour next time, and it'll be like a whole Drew Estate tour of Little Havana. And
yeah,
we're
it's
gonna do
crazy, man. Like I played in Jose Marti Park, right underneath I-95 basketball. Then from there, we used to go to the Pizza Hut on 8th Street and 8th, and ate pizza at that Pizza Hut. You understand? So, it was Wynwood, Calle Ocho for me, and then little did I know I was gonna end up in Westchester. So I'm in the heart of Westchester. Bird Road and 83rd. Where Come Smoke With Us is right now, and it's just you guys are talking about all these locations, key point locations in Miami, and I find myself traveling through these streets as you guys are talking, and La Rubia is one of my go-to beers too. So it's just it's the stars have been aligned for me, man. I couldn't ask for anything better, and I'm just lucky to be here.
Well, we're honored that you're that your shop is amazing, that you're such a great partner to Drew Estate, and that we always love hanging out. For those of you guys, whatever, I do a couple of events here, and George is always part of them. He's always got his cigars out at my events and stuff like that. And it's an amazing partnership and how our families all interconnected and stuff. But that's what makes it 305, man. We're really about family. Really about family.
That's what it is, man.
And whether that family comes, from our cousins from the frozen tundra up north, like Joey, the frozen tundra of Long Island, but he's he's more dude, this guy's more 305 than any of us. He doesn't,
I'm on the low end though, the low. I'm a
Yeah,
low
well,
life 305.
Yeah, this is the guy that's Joey, so tell us about the 305 low life crew, because you're the guy that invented this.
Well, I didn't.
What
I just
exactly
watched it
is that?
unfold. So it was three of us in the Zoom lounge here. It was Torres, Sergio, and yourself. We're in the back of the bus, like all low lives who travel.
Don't
Coming
forget
back.
Jack. Dude, don't forget
Oh, Jack. Yeah, Jack was there too. And we were on our way
Associate
back from
member.
the factory. Yeah, we were on our way back from the factory from Esteli, traveling back down to Managua, and you guys were just going at it with all sorts of Miami stuff. And I was just a listener. I was just like, wow, what is this low life stuff that you guys are talking about? All these ragtag, divey places that you grew up in, and I just felt at home in that. So that's when Low Life 305 was born.
Well,
Low
I
life.
mean, there you go. Low life. You guys got the gang signals. All right. So,
All those
So-
spots
yeah,
became
so-
staples, man. Staples of Miami.
Mhm.
So we can wax nostalgic of all these great spots. But listen, at some point, you guys will be able to come back down here, and you're going to be able to hang with us, and we're going to hang, over on 8th Street and have a steak sandwich and some cafecito. Not as good as this one, but it'll be good, I promise you. And you'll go down to Wynwood Brewing. We're gonna have an amazing time, because their tasting room. What's the official terminology, Louis?
Whatever you want to call it. I mean, I call it a tap room, pub, tasting room, whatever you want to call it. But so we got to do a trip to like Miami, and then I think we also got to do a Nicaragua trip, because it seems like there's a lot of stories around Nicaragua. My wife is Nicaraguan, like I said earlier. I would love to hang out with you guys in Nicaragua. I mean,
Full
hang
circle,
out,
man.
have some
Yeah.
steaks, drink some rum, have some fritanga, some frito, hang out, I
It'll
mean,
be the best trip of your life, man.
couple trips.
Oh yeah, man, for
Listen,
sure.
My first state.
George, George, you've been on safari.
Well,
Were you-
I really wasn't on a safari. I went to the festival down in Nicaragua, and
Yeah.
speaking of that, Louis, my wife, her dad was Cuban and her mom is Nicaragua, so she's got all the mix, that you can ask for. But definitely a trip to Nicaragua would definitely change your mind. It's just, it's mind blowing, man. Everything that they do down there in the factory is just phenomenal. You come back with so much love for the industry. You come back with so much love for what we enjoy smoking on a daily basis, and the passion, the love, it's just so much. It's that it leaves you wanting to go back, not for 4 days, but for a week. And from the minute you land in Nicaragua, it's instant. It's already they're ready to go, man. They're ready to have fun, man. So I was glad to be a part of that trip in early January, and I'm glad I was able to make it. Otherwise, still would have been dreaming about it. But I can't wait to go back.
Well, we all, listen, one of the big things is, my man Joey back there, he's sipping on his mezcal, and we're all talking about like we're gonna do on this magical trip, down to Mexico, find out where they make mezcal and all that stuff. But the reality is, I can't wait to get back to Nicaragua, to hang with Willy, and see him in his element, because you really get to appreciate what Willy brings to Drew Estate, and Louis, as soon as we're ready to go, man, you're coming with us, man, because David's been on there, Sergio's been on there, Joey's been on there. I had one of the best times in my life with him. And George, when you go down there, it does change your life. It does change your life, absolutely. And we can't wait. We can't wait to get back down. We're super excited. And JD, what do you think, man? Are you gonna come down to Nicaragua with us or what, man?
A couple of things. What I think in terms of La Rubia, it was funny because when I was listening to Lewis's story, it reminded me a little bit about Blondie. Did you guys think about that a little bit when he was talking about Rubia? I was thinking of the acid Blondie, and kind of, Frank, I think you caught it too. There's some similarities there from a standpoint of what Lewis was speaking about. Second is numerous times Frank and I are walking through Wynwood and we bump into Lewis in the street and his dad or his partner or different people. And it's great to see you because you know something, brother. I'm on 24th. The Wynwood Safe House, #1, is here on 24th Street.
24th Street, baby.
You're on 24th Street. So we control the street all the way from the tip of 95.
That's right.
Because you're 2 blocks down from me.
That's right.
So think of how fucking crazy it really is, right? And I moved here to Wynwood full-time, living here 5 years ago. I'm here now, in the Safe House now. So we bump into you in the street. I see you marching around. And what I love is my neighborhood. Both at the factory is something you're going to really appreciate because Drew is incredibly dedicated to our barrio, which is in Rosario barrio of Esteli, which is part of the Segovias. And where did you say your wife was from?
My wife is actually, her family's from Granada, so I've been there a couple of times, but mostly either Managua or Granada. That's where I spend my time.
Well, most of the tours we used to do for years, we would do the first night in Granada. And then, so I know Granada very well as well. It's a great place, even though they're always fighting with our people from Leon. They're always out there war.
Oh yeah, that's historical, dude. That's how it is, dude.
So all those times Frank introduced me to, I think he's introduced us like 6 times in the street, and I see you walking on my street.
That's right. So your street. Wait. Your street.
My street. No, so all I'm saying is it's a privilege to share this street with you.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for what you do for Wynwood, because you were here before me in Wynwood, and we love it here. We've invested more into the neighborhood and a lot of ways. So it really feels good when we think about our block and our neighborhood and how we contribute to it and not just take from it. And you are amazing. What you do is great. So I wanted to say that. And then secondly is Willy, it's great, in terms of like going to Frank, you guys were talking about the neighborhood and listening to a few of the things that I didn't know, but I had a question for you, Willy.
Uh-huh.
And I want to win a fucking cutter.
Well, you got to hashtag it first, right?
Yeah. This wonderful Pappy Van Winkle cutter, hashtag Ask Frankie Drinks.
Yeah. So this is through Frankie to Willy. I have a question, or maybe actually Frank, you might fucking know this also. Is you were mentioning a lot of the historical greats, Ernesto Perez Carrillo and others. Do you guys remember Rolando Reyes from Puros Indios? Was he?
Oh yeah, man.
Was he
down the street off of 11th Ave or 12th Ave, just over Flagler? But yeah, right, a couple blocks down, man. Used to go over there and hang out all the time.
With the old man?
It's
Not
half
with
a
the
mile.
old man, with the grandson.
Half a mile. Puros Indios, half a mile. And that's where like EPC has moved his factory into that old building that's near there.
Luria's. Yep.
Yeah, where that Luria's is. So
yep.
Did you know that EPC, about 15 years ago or so, one time, or maybe 20 years ago, I was with him and I asked him, I said, this was 2000 or so. I said to him, hey, who is your like mentor? Who was the one who was your hero and stuff? And Ernesto told me, said that it was Rolando, senior. And just for a different time, but you know what? I was curious. I didn't know if at the time, actually, it was before Puerto Indios. Was what was it before Puerto Indios?
Cuba Aliados.
Cuba Aliados. It was Cuba Aliados.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to say, Frank, and then I'm gonna give you back your mic, is I just want to thank Jorge George from Come Smoke With Us. For all of you that come in the Miami area, you know, the best selection of real estate that you're going to find, period, is at Come Smoke With Us. And it's on Bird Road. It's a great place. There's restaurants and things to do in the neighborhood. And everybody, they got a great atmosphere there. You know, George, you care about customers. And you give them a great place to smoke and to share great times. So, for, yo, who's Mike? Bananas. So anyway, come smoke with us. Yo, I want to give you a shout out, brother, and just let the people know that you're a great partner. We appreciate you. We love you, and your wife is the best. You guys, God bless you. And I'm glad you came as our guest. We brought you to Nicaragua for the Cigar Festival, and that was something, right? That was something that we wanted to do for you because to show you some appreciation. All the guys love you in the company, so thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, it was
JD,
definitely.
Yeah, I think George is trying to get back on. George, you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right.
Yeah, I heard JD. It was, like I said, man, it was an honor.
Yo, he's all fucked up.
Here at the shop, Come Smoke With Us. You know, we have embraced family like they've embraced us. You know, and it fit. It was just a perfect fit for us here at the shop. You know, we have our slogan says "Enter a stranger, leave us family," and when I started partnering up with Drew Estate, they embraced me like they've known me forever, you know, and that culture, it was just, it fit our store just right, you know, and we have become, I believe in Miami, we are the shop with the largest Drew Estate selection in all of Miami, and I'm proud to say that, and I'm going to continue to be, you know, a Drew Estate guy, you know, until I can, you know, and it's just, you know, it's a feel good, you know, when I go to the office and pick up, you know, my shipment, or when I was able to go there and pick up my stuff, it was like going home and everybody welcomes you with open arms. And you know, JD, I appreciate you and the shout out, man. I didn't know that our relationship was gonna be this solid, and you know, with Willie and with the Joeys and with the Serge and with the Frankies and with the Davids and with everybody, the aunts, you know, it's just been, you know, the Josh, everybody, you know, I could go on and on and on, you know, and it's just been a phenomenal partnership, you know, to be a part of. And like I said, you know, I'm honored to be a Drew Estate Cigar Lounge, and I'll continue to be there till I can, you know.
Come smoke with us.
Good
Nice
stuff. Good stuff.
Yo, 305, ride or die.
George is we talked about a few spots in Wynwood and Calle, but one of the staple spots here, you know, that the guys like to come eat is at Conchao. That dim sum at Conchao is fire, you know.
Anfon is going off the rails right now because that's Anfon's spot.
Anfon style.
But I
That's
want
the dim sum
to
spot.
state this now on the record.
Nope.
On the record.
Nope.
We're going to Conchao before Anfon was even part of South Florida, bro. Just letting you know, Anfon. But I'm glad you're with us because we're about inclusivity, bro. And I love you.
That shit, bro.
Yo, you and me gotta talk about after this show. So with
All right,
that,
you gotta
listen,
start answering some questions, Frankie.
I do. I've got to start answering some questions for some cutters, man. So listen, all you guys in the Zoom lounge, man, much love to you. I wish we were together, bro, so we can give ourselves a big hug, you know, but until then, we're 305 ride or die, you know, 305 for life, and we love you. There you go. So we got Harley Wisco. Willie, this is for you. While the Miami continues to be the reigning champion in my humidor, if you had to pick a DE stick other than your signature blends, what would you recommend next? So next to the Miami, bro, what's the next thing?
Man, that's a tough one, man. I probably go, it's what I always say, and it's probably one of the harder ones to find, but I'd say the UF13s, man.
You're an aristocrat because you know
Cuba.
because you know those people can't get that, but the UF13 is probably one of our finer sticks. So if you guys get your hands on the UF13, make sure you so that's a Willy recommendation. So thank you for that question. Next up, we got Tony Manfetano. Another question for Willy. Since we've been on quarantine, how have you set up your home smoking pot? Patio, grotto, home lodge, backyard, and why? I have no idea what this question is asking, Willy, so you're gonna have to help me.
Well, listen, that's a complicated question, and it's a complicated answer. So, you know, working from home, I have never worked so much off of my laptop. Number one. Number two, I have never been in so many meetings in my life. So my place of choice for all these meetings, because of course school was canceled, so the kids were homeschooling. So the only place that was quiet for me is the garage. So my garage now has become my office / smoking room. So that's the answer to that question. It's quiet, you know, and I could smoke there, and I could do my meetings there. So my garage is turned into my office / lounge.
I got you. So where the big question is, where are you like cooking your pork shoulder, bro?
Oh, dude, my smoker, man, my pit barrel smoker.
Pit barrel, y'all. So take note. Willy Herrera, master blender, pit barrel
You can't
smoker.
go wrong with that pit barrel, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you, Willy. Next up, we got Alex Carban. Frankie and Willy, is the Miami cigar still Drew Estate tobacco sent to El Titan and then rolled, or is it El Titan tobacco as well? Willy, what's actually the process? So I think that's a question.
So the tobacco, the blend was created with the tobaccos that we use at Titan. It's tobaccos that we use for a lot of our own brands at Titan. Tobaccos that we use for a lot of the brands that we manufacture for the people. So yes, it's our own tobacco. El Titan's own tobacco was used to create the Herrera Miami.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Willy. Next up, Bill Foley. All right, Joey, get ready.
Oh man.
Frankie,
Oh, man.
your show, Joey and JD have introduced me to mezcal. I love it.
Yeah.
Joey,
All right.
is that Del Maguey Vita? What's your favorite mezcal? I guess the question is, Joey, what's your favorite mezcal?
It's always the one that you're drinking right now. That's my favorite one.
Of course. But
And
Joey,
that one would be this one. The Del Maguey Iberico.
yo,
I did that for the 305. You got to have a little Iberico.
so if you don't know what Iberico is, Joey, tell us a little bit about Iberico.
So they do it's like a celebratory sort of thing that they make when they're making mezcal. They don't do it all the time, but in this particular one, they hang an actual leg, the Iberico, over the fermentation, and through that process, this magic takes place in the mezcal. And if you pour a little in your hand and you rub it and you smell, it smells like somebody just sliced a piece of ham off. It's incredible. It's got that spiciness, that sweet sugar from a ham. It's incredible.
Right. And people need to know, number one, it was a combination of Ron Cooper from Del Maguey and Jose Andres, the world-renowned chef, combining together to make this. And it's expensive, AF, just to keep it, PG. And but But if you were to
I didn't know this was PG, man.
it
Oh
is
yeah, no,
for
we
me.
had the lawyers come down.
You
They said
can
if
curse all
Sergio's
the
going to be
fuck
on, it's
you want.
PG.
So I'm just gonna say that. So
Wait, we can
but
curse?
for me, so yes, you can curse all the fuck you want.
Oh, I
not
thought
me.
Oh, dude, I felt bad for that.
I'm keeping it
And then you're like, no, you
PG,
can't
bro.
curse. I took that.
Yeah, this is the 305, man. Come on.
You know, half of our language is peppered with the F word and any
Yeah.
other words. So, but Joey, if someone was just jumping in, man, what mezcal should they have?
Yeah, it's the Demagüey Vida #1, Monte Lobos, the Espadin #2. Those are the ones you want to dive into right away. You know, to get your feet wet. It's an amazing thing because it's a clear spirit, but its depth of flavor is just so massive. You can't believe that it's possible. You know, because it's not aged in barrels like a lot of the other spirits we have on the show. And it's a rabbit hole. You'll go down and you pair it up with a great stick and you're on your way.
So, so Louis and George, you guys are invited to go to Oaxaca with us whenever that is. You know, right now the group
this bus is
like,
getting really big.
Yeah, it's like it's like
there's already
45
all over the
people.
world.
45 people are going down to Oaxaca as soon as we're told we're good. So, congratulations. So next up, Bradley Wilson, and this was for you, Lou. Ask Louis, what beer do you brew that would make me get in my car and drive from the 407 to the 305 to drink? And 407 is Orlando, right?
Yep.
407 is Orlando, that's right.
Orlando's 407. Dude, you know, I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one for remember. But Lou, what's that beer, bro? What's that beer that makes me get in the car and drive down 3.5 hours?
Man, it all really depends on what a person likes to drink. That way I know what audience I'm catering to. Because like sticks, there's definitely different flavor profiles. But I'll talk about what I'm drinking right now, right? Because I saw somebody on the Facebook Live talk about if we have a good IPA. And right now I'm drinking Islander, which is it's a one-off. It's kind of our homage to IKEA. If you see, it's kind of like doing all the instructions on how to make a beer and an IKEA illustration. And it's basically we used a Norwegian style yeast to make this IPA. And it's actually an IPA that has pink guava, grapefruit, and then also has different types of hops. So it's fruited and it also has hops into it. And it's delicious. It's really flavorful. You get the nice sweetness of the fruit into it as well. So it's juicy. It's not super bitter. It's more aromatic than anything. So that's what I would say. You even have the next time I put a cigar on here, it's got the guy with the beer and
yeah, you guys are killing it, brother. You guys are killing it, man. Like always from day one, man. I love you, bro. You know, for that. Right. And so, listen, man, I would say Octopus on the Wall because that was like, you know, and the Wynwood Fox because that's the shit that people don't know. But if you got like the Wynwood Fox Red Ale, that was an amazing beer. And when it's seasonal, one of my favorites is Arroz con Leche. Willie, pay attention.
Arroz con Leche. I'm all ears.
Arroz con Leche, available seasonal. That's rice pudding. It's a beer that has these wonderful notes. It's amazing when winter comes, right?
That's right. Yeah, so like, you know, you see all these breweries do pumpkin beers. I mean, we're Hispanic. We don't really like, I love pumpkin pies, don't get me wrong, but to pay homage to us, to our roots, to our culture, we do a rice pudding beer, which is arroz con leche during the holidays. That way we can share with folks. And it's not very heavy. It's actually, the base is La Rubia, so it's light. Just has that flavor profile, the cinnamon, the vanilla, and things like that. So it's
right. But you also do a coquito. So tell us about that. You do a coquito beer. So for those of you who don't know, coquito is a little bit of like a little. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so it's a Puerto Rican eggnog, right? I mean, that's what most people call it. I mean, but it's a little bit better in my opinion, right? It's got rum, it's got coconut in it. That's the base. And so what we do is we do a dark beer with milk sugar, so lactose, so you get that sweetness, creaminess, flavor profile. And then we treat it with vanilla, with coconut, and then a few other things that are tied to our family's coquito recipe that give it kind of like that coquito. And then what we do to get that rum kind of flavor to it, we barrel age it in Puerto Rican rum barrels to get a little bit of that rum flavor into the beer.
I'm in, man.
So.
I'm in. But now I got one
George,
request.
you know what that's all about, bro. You know what that's all about, Georgie.
I got one request. You gotta start working on a flan, bro. A flan beer, bro.
Oh,
that's one of my signature dishes, man.
Dude, we've never done a flan beer. We have a really good. I don't know like too much about y'all's industry, right, with cigars, but at least in the beer industry, we love hanging out together with other brewers. We share kind of ideas, recipes, and things like that. One of our really close friends, Lost City Brewing, they do an amazing flan beer that they're about to open up in North Miami. And so those guys, it's kind of like they have it locked down. It's to me, it's like fucking spot on. Like it is spot on. And so I don't want to. I'd rather have them do it because they'll do it a lot better than I would do it. So
we share the love, and that's part of family, right? And
that's
we
right.
share the love about family in its industry, and we have we have a history with everyone. So as you have a history, Lost City, and our guys down there, and then we have a history with EPC. Across the street.
That's
and
awesome.
JD's told that story many times, and on our collaboration, and that's really the beauty of the 305. So I've got one last question for one last cutter. So you guys pay attention here. This is the bonus. I'm giving away 6 cutters tonight. What is Miami best known for? A, beaches. B, croquetas. C, not giving AF, and D, being ratchet. So the winner is Mr. Rob Amato from Las Vegas, where the correct answer was E, all of the above. So congratulations, Rob Amato. Yes, we are best known for all of the above. That's part of being 305, and we love it, and we embrace it. So, with that, I'm gonna sign off in saying that 305 Miami is a city that's in constant change. We have been born from the entrepreneurial spirit of Julia Tuttle, Henry Flagler, that built a city in between the swamp and the beach, man. They came here with the American ideal of building something special. And in that, we have been blessed by the multitude of cultures that have come here, from Bahamian, Cuban, Colombian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan, New Yorkers, Northeasterners, Americans that have come here to build a better life for themselves, and we're the benefit of that. And as JD always says, man, you need to represent your block, but you're always welcome on ours. So if you're DE, you got that DE swagger, you're welcome in the 305 anytime. And with that, I'm signing off. Any last words, man? Because I need to finish this mojito.
Drink that shit.
All right.
Good riddance.
All right. So with that, I say good night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Six and Sips. This is Frankie Drinks. I'm out. 305 done. Cheers.
Hey everyone, this is Frankie Drinks. I'm the cigar and spirits pairing specialist for Drew Estate. I'm also the ambassador of the Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented line of cigars. It is an honor and privilege to represent Drew Estate Cigar Company. Through our rich and innovative history, we truly have created something for everyone's palate. Together, we will travel to different locations to experience cigar pairings with spirits, cocktails, beverages, and food. Along the way, we will explore a few locations, hang in a few bars, learn some history, and truly celebrate our lifestyle. Come join me as we embark on this journey of discovery. Cheers!